FM. My name is Chioma Innocent, and here are the top stories. President Talon breaks silence after Benin Republic failed coup. Deaths as gunmen attack church market in Anambra. Federal government secures release of 100 school children abducted in Niger State, and Kalu State recruits 4,444 Quran reciters to conduct prayers against terrorists. Details now. Thank you for staying tuned. The world news at 12 begins with the president of the Republic of Benin, Patrice Talon, addressing the nation after a failed coup by a faction of soldiers. In a nationwide broadcast, President Talon pledged to safeguard the country's democratic institutions and maintain national stability. The president said a small group of soldiers, citing what he described as false grievances, attempted to attack the republic's institutions and destabilize the nation, threatening the democratic order. He warned that such actions, if successful, would have derailed the democracy of the nation and threatened democratic order. He confirmed that in coordination with the country's defense and security leadership, decisive action has been taken to maintain peace and ensure the safety of all citizens across the national territory. The president also commended the army for its sense of duty and prompt response in protecting the nation and upholding the rule of law. His statement comes amid ongoing efforts to stabilize the country following the attempted mutiny and ensure continuity of democratic governance. Meanwhile, back home in Nigeria, it was a tragic occurrence as the wife of an Anglican church pastor was killed on Sunday morning when gunmen attacked St. Andrew's Church in Isiokwe, Anambra State, southeast Nigeria. Isiokwe is a community in Lilu town, which is under Ihiala local government area of the state. Residents told journalists that the attack happened in the early hours of Sunday. One of the residents said gunmen appeared to have targeted the pastor, identified as a Venerable Obiese. Video clips recorded shortly after the deadly attack showed the pastor's house completely burnt down. At least 2 cars and a motorcycle were completely razed. The church was partially burnt, according to the video clips. Many residents had fled the community in the heat of the attacks by hoodlums who took over the community in 2021. Obiora Agbasilu, the Labour Party candidate in the 2021 governorship election in Anambra State, was abducted in Lilu in September of that year. He is yet to be seen since his abduction, amid report that he has been killed. The local government area shares boundaries with communities in Imo, another southeastern state heavily impacted by insecurity in the region. The police spokesperson in Anambra State, Tochukwu Ikenga, has confirmed the latest church attack in Lilu and the killing of the pastor's wife. In a statement today, Ikenga, a superintendent of police, said other people were injured in the attack. Spokesperson said the Commissioner of Police in Anambra State, Ikoye Orutugo, sympathized with families of the victims as well as the community and assured that the police in the state would track down the attackers. Meanwhile, a yet to be disclosed number of persons have been feared killed when some unknown armed men launched an attack near the Afo Market Junction in Northia community in Jikoka local government area of Anambra State on Sunday. Residents described the panic and chaos as the attackers reportedly opened fire on unsuspecting members of the community. Some victims were fatally injured while others fled for safety. Some other residents who also spoke on the development said they were still in shock, with many calling for increased security presence. Video footage of the incident currently circulating online showed increased security presence and also showed people running about while others lay on the ground with blood. The President General of Northia Progressive Union, Chief Daniel Okoye, who confirmed the development in a press statement on Sunday, said relevant security agencies have already been contacted and investigations have begun to uncover those responsible. recent development, the federal government has reportedly secured the release of 100 school children abducted from St. Mary's Private Catholic Primary and Secondary School, Papiri, in Agwara local government area of Niger State. Bandits had on November 21 invaded the remote Papiri community at about 2 a.m., arriving on motorbikes and attacking the school dormitories for over 3 hours. By the time they retreated, 315 people comprising 303 students and 12 teachers had been taken away. In the first 24 hours after the abduction, 50 pupils managed to escape and were reunited with their families. However, 265 individuals, that is 253 children and all 12 teachers, still remain in captivity. Security agents alongside local hunters were immediately deployed to comb surrounding forests in search of the missing victims. The federal government intensified the operation by imposing a 24-hour security cordon and launching aerial surveillance across Niger, Kwara and Kebbi State. President Bola Tinubu also cancelled scheduled international engagement to address the crisis. In the wake of the attack, the government ordered the indefinite closure of all schools in Niger State, along with several federal institutions in high-risk areas, pending further security assessment. Details surrounding the release of the 100 school children, including whether negotiations were involved, remain unclear. The National Security Advisor to the President, Nuhu Ribadu, last Monday reassured parents and authorities of the school that the abducted pupils are doing fine and will return very soon. In a bid to combat insecurity in Kano State, the government has recruited 4,444 Quranic reciters to conduct statewide prayers against terrorists and bandits in the state. According to posts shared on several social media platforms, including X, the Quranic reciters gathered in different parts of the state on Saturday and Sunday, where they engaged in special prayers. They prayed for peace and improved security following renewed attacks in parts of the state. The special prayer session brought together Quranic reciters, Islamic scholars, traditional leaders, and top government officials in the state. The event was aimed at seeking divine intervention as communities in the Kano North Senatorial District grapple with rising security threats, including the recent abduction of at least 15 residents and the killing of one woman. The 16th Emir of Kano, Muhammad Sanusi II, senior government officials, religious leaders, traditional rulers, and community representatives were all in attendance. In a recent development, the National Assembly is preparing to open debate and vote on 44 constitution alteration bills covering wide-range reforms, including electoral processes, judicial restructuring, state policing, devolution of powers, and local government autonomy. The bills also touch on inclusive governance, strengthening of traditional institutions, fiscal federalism, citizenship and indigenization, and the protection of fundamental human rights. For years, calls have intensified for a comprehensive restructuring of the country's political and administrative framework, with advocates insisting that more powers should devolve to state and local governments. The last alteration to the 1999 Constitution, its Fifth Amendment, was signed into law by former President Muhammadu Buhari on March 17, 2023, with 16 of those proposed changes amendments. Although the House initially scheduled voting for October 14, the process was delayed and debate on the bills are yet to commence. Since the beginning of the year, both the Senate and House of Representatives have held public hearings and engaged various stakeholders to gather input on the proposed amendments. Deputy Speaker Benjamin Kalu, who also chairs the Constitution Review Committee, assured that the exercise will be concluded before the end of 2025. You're currently listening to the World News at 12 right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. We took a short break and returned with more news and the news analysis segment. To stay tuned. Thank Thank you for staying tuned to the World News at 12 right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. Abia North Senator Oji Usuzoku has revealed his meeting with the first Biafra agitator, late General Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu, during the last days of his life. Speaking during a monitored television interview on Sunday, Usuzoku said Ojukwu told him that the first Biafra agitation was necessary, but the second was not. He also refuted allegations that he was less Igbo than the people of the entire Southeast. He noted that when people going out for businesses are killed on Mondays, it is not rational and it is not nice. He therefore called on those enforcing sit at home to make sure they stop the exercise and allow people go about their lawful business. He also refuted allegations of funding any militant groups or the so-called autopilot in the region. The former Abia State Governor and Senator representing Abia North dismissed claims linking him to the funding of autopilot or any other militant group in the Southeast, insisting he has never been involved in sponsoring violence. He addressed allegations by IPOB's Emma Powerful separatist agitation, insecurity, his relationship with the president, and controversies surrounding his daughter's ambassadorial nomination. Responding to IPOB's claim that he financed autopilot, Kalu said the allegation was baseless. He noted he had never met Powerful, nor had he ever financed such a militant group. He also explained that the Bakassi security outfit he set up as governor was for law and order. Kalu said agitators were destroying the same region they claim to defend. He publicly challenged IPOB's spokesperson, saying, if Emma Powerful is alive, he should come on in a program and tell me where I established autopilot. What is called autopilot? I don't understand. I have never heard that name before. Well, now joining me for the news analysis segment right here on the World News at 12, I have via the telephone Mr. Awa Omiko of the Sunday editorial desk. Good afternoon to you, Mr. Awa, and thank you for joining us today. Good afternoon to you, Mr. Awa. Can you hear me?
Oh, friendly.
Is it better now, Mr. Awa? Good afternoon to you.
Okay, yeah, better now. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you. How are you doing today? Happy New Week and welcome to the World News at 12. Let's begin with Senator Oji Usuzoku actually addressing some claims that were made against him in a viral video that actually made the round some months ago, where certain people were saying that he actually paid them to do some form of violence, to just do some certain evil things in the Southeast. He has come out to say he knows nothing about that. Also speaking on the Biafra agitation, he spoke about how it is unnecessary right now, that the Igbo people do not need a Biafra, and of course that the sit at home in the region should end. Now, while we're talking about this, there were two separate attacks in Anambra State yesterday, one in a church and one in the market, with an unspecified number of people being killed. This is coming just after IPOB told Southeasterners that they can return home for the Christmas celebrations as all is well and there will be no incidences of violence. What's your take on all of this?
If you look at all this, that's a crime. Killing is a form of criminality. Well, what happens to our police? Let them get those people arrested. Let them investigate the issue and get the people arrested and tried. In fact, we at times we act as if there is no state. Though somebody has described the whole geographical contraction as a zoo, but we shouldn't allow that to happen. Even in the zoo, even in the jungle, there are still rules and regulations, there are laws. So let the police go into it and investigate the issue and get those people arrested and tried for criminal offenses. Besides coming to the issue of Kalu, you know that this whole thing is now dying down, gradually dying down. So people may be telling you now they are no longer interested. They want to deny what they had said initially. If the former governor had actually is trying to say deny what he has done earlier on, well, that's a way of saying it's apologetic. But they must come openly to actually apologize to the people. That if that is the case, but if it is not, and there are evidences, if he has committed any crime, what stops the law from taking his due course? If in the process of his maybe actions and inactions, and he has committed any crime, let the law take his due course. That is the way it should be. And because there is no sacred cow in any place. And let her go. for the killing, for the two killings of people, at least masterminded, allegedly masterminded by IPOB, let there be an investigation. If the IPOB people said no, they are not responsible, let there still be an investigation, and let us bring the East to a lasting peace. Let it be a peaceful place. Because once these pockets of killings and the insecurity starts again, they'll be sending signals that the East is still not safe, and which is very, very bad. East is part of Nigeria. The security men should go in and quell the challenges there, not allowing things to happen as if it's a paradigm on its own. That shouldn't be. Thank you.
All right, but is the East safe though? And that's why I brought up the issue of IPOB, saying that people can come back home this Christmas to felicitate with their loved ones that are, that live there in the region, in the villages. But will people be willing to go home, seeing as it seems that attacks are being renewed? Sometimes they blame these attacks on Fulani headsmen. Sometimes it's blamed on unknown gunmen. But the question remains, what is the reason for these attacks? Because the residents of these communities, they are saying, in fact, the Labour Party governorship candidate in Anambra State, right there in Lilu town where this attack took place yesterday, that was abducted since 2021. He's not been seen till now. And when people are saying he has been killed, up till now, it's been 4 years. So with all of this, how can you actually tell the people to come back home? How can you tell the people to invest in the region? How can you tell them to come back for the festive period? And how do we ensure, the leaders of the Southeast, how do they ensure that insecurity becomes a thing of the past and that the people live safe and secure in their homes? The other time it was talked about a militant group called Umoma. This time around, we seem not to know the people who are involved or the people who are carrying out these evil attacks.
Choma, I at the time told you, giving you an example of how the East should be run. Let us go back to that traditional system of the people guiding their community. If you know there's certain age grade in the East, when you begin to talk about the age grade system, there are certain age grades between maybe 35 to 45 that are still within that region and within that place. Let them maintain vigilance. You see, foreigners can never come and take possession of your land, though. There is no how. No matter how the person is, or how the group of people are, or how they have planned it, if the indigenous, if the local people say they don't want it, it will never happen. Let them use that plan. And any region where there is stealing, let the traditional chief be called. Let it be the number one person to be held responsible. And I gave you an example. I said things like this is done in Ohofia, where in any community where there is crime, you will see the traditional chief will be called to order to question it, to say, why did this happen in your domain? And what does that mean? It means citizenship security. It means the people coming in to check what is happening within their environment. And if they see you, they suspect you to be a danger to the community, the first thing they'll do is they will arrest you. And once you are arrested, you begin to explain yourself. And by so doing, if there's nothing, if they have found you wanting, you'll be handed over to the security men for further questioning and for them to deal with you. The East can be made a peaceful place. In fact, it can be made a paradise it used to be. If government should include the local people in protecting themselves and in guiding their community, and if they should recognize these vigilante groups. These vigilante groups will point out who are the Umuomas. They may be getting Igbo names without being Igbo people. You can see how Dakobo said he is a man. He runs a personal army group. He could be a mercenary. That they speak Igbo does not make them an Igbo people. And once they know that these mercenaries have come to their community, they have a way of arresting them and making the government to know of it. But the issue is that is government itself not capable of it? If government or in its totality should say, look, their hands are not in the killing. I bet you, and I repeat, I bet you, the killings will stop. Besides, I repeat, any crisis, no matter wherever it is, that exists a day or two, call government, hold government responsible for it. And if Nigerian police should be serious about it and go and do their real work, believe me, under 1 week, this is the culprit to be caught. I know that our Nigerian police are very, very hardworking people and strong-minded people that can do this job. And if they take this task seriously, they bring out those people. IPOB are no IPOB. IPOB are no spirit. They did not come from man. They are among the people, and they can easily be fished out.
All right,
Thank
Mr. Awa, let's quickly talk about the rescue of the 100 pupils and students who were abducted from St. Mary's Catholic Primary and Secondary School in Papiri, Niger State. The federal government is letting us know that 100 of them have been rescued. But the questions Nigerians have been asking, anytime they say people are rescued, what about the terrorists who abducted these people in the first place? Was there an exchange of gunfire? Was anybody arrested? Is anybody going to be prosecuted? Is any one of them currently in custody? Especially when the federal government insists that they are not negotiating or paying ransom. So the question is, now that these 100 people, 100 school children have been released, what happens to the remaining ones in custody? What happens to their teachers? And how do we know that these ones will also be released very soon? And also, what about the others that have been kidnapped before now? Do you think it's time the federal government should come out with it and let Nigerians know exactly how they are going about the approaches to rescuing, recovering, or releasing these school children?
The government is playing hide and seek. That is the role government is playing, hide and seek. Until government comes out truthfully, tell the people they are truthful, tell the people how they've been managing the security architecture of this country. If not, we keep on having all this. You just imagine rescuing 100 school children. What happens to the abductors? Have they been arrested? Were they in exchange of fire? How much did the government pay? And how much were those people demanding for? Look, there are so many things. They should arrest them and bring them to book. You are going there to negotiate with the criminals. That means you are giving them a handshake. You are giving them a handshake.
Mr. Awa, yesterday, Nigerian security forces actually went into Benin Republic's airspace to drop some bombs on the coup plotters. And the Nigerian government is letting us know that they did that because Benin Republic called for help. Now, some political activists and concerned Nigerians are saying, why can they not use the same firepower against terrorists threatening the unity and security of the country?
That shows that there is more to it than meets the eye. It's like the more you look at Nigerian security system, the less you see, and even the less you know. If we could go to Republic of Benin to check them, to even stop a coup, do you know what it means for a coup to take place? To even stop a coup. Why can't we, in our own? This is just in our own yard, in our sitting room. Why can't we stop it? But it's simply because we are mixing politics with economy and with security. And by the time politics comes into it, politics and religion comes into it, it becomes a no-go area. So people will tell you, I was at a seminar somewhere, and somebody said, how can you send me to go and kill my kinsman? That it is never done. You should imagine that. And it's a military officer. Nigeria comes first. But to some of these military officers and politicians, their pockets, their community comes first. And that is why you see we are dancing this Maccabi dance. You see, we were speaking from both sides of our mouth and not making things to work. It is a big shame to Nigeria. Good, we go outside and play the role of the big brother. But how about our internal crisis? How much of that have we been able to solve? Come on, Boko Haram, we can't overcome. Instead, we are battling with them, equipping them to do more harm to the other side of the country. And until we stop this, Nigeria will still be the way it is. And mind you, I was in your studio some time ago, and I said more of this will come up. And it was like as if I was predicting doom. No, I was only just telling you the reality. Because the nitty-gritty, we have not gone into the nitty-gritty of this security thing until we start trying people, until we start arresting, persecuting, and until we start killing, if need be. Because once you are involved in crime, in other countries, banditry and terrorism have death sentence. But here, we absorb them and even include them into the security network, which shows that we are not even serious. And that is why when some advanced country or people from the other world see us, they see us as people toying with our security network. And until you are serious with it, no investor, nobody wants to put his money in where there is crisis. No businessman wants to lose. And that's thing they fail to realize that who are those supplying them these arms? Who are they? And who are those funding them? For how long will it take them to bring out this list? And for how long will it take them to do the needful? So, Chairman, the whole thing is that we are just in a vicious of confusion. And until we can get out of this vicious circle we have created, vicious circle of confusion we have created, we have no...
all right, Mr. Awa. Let's quickly talk about the process on the constitutional review that the National Assembly is set to debate on. Now, some of the bills in this constitutional review actually touch on inclusive governance, strengthening traditional institutions, fiscal federalism, citizenship, indigenization, and the protection of fundamental human rights. Now, there is also the bill to establish an office of the State Auditor General, bill to establish local government councils as a tier of government, bill to grant citizenship rights to foreign men married to Nigerian women, which is actually something that many Nigerian women have been talking about and saying they are not happy about, that a foreign woman can marry a Nigerian man and get citizenship, but when it comes to vice versa, it doesn't work that way. Electoral reforms are also part of this constitutional review, where there is a bill to provide the criteria for appointing members of the State Independent Electoral Commission. There is a lot contained in this constitutional review bill. What's your take on it in 1 minute, please?
It is good. No country's law is ever permanent, and no country's law is ever perfect. We keep on reviewing until we get to that level of fancy perfection. And you can even see even in the US, even in the UK, you see that they keep on reviewing. Constitution is relatively dynamic. It is not something very rigid. You keep on changing and reviewing it whenever the need arises. My take on foreign women marrying Nigerians and the rest. How about Nigerians going over there? Don't women in Nigeria, or even some of the women going going abroad, they only get married and retain their citizenship there. So why? In fact, the constitution, it is good. Let it keep on coming. But the fact is, will we be able to implement all this the way the constitution has said it? One, local government local government system is already dead. But with this, I believe it's going to bring it back. Let us make our local government functional. By the time you give it that functionality, you bring a lot of investment. Let states have their own powers. If I give kudos to that, but my fears will those things talked about be implemented to the letters? Are the people going to be applied? Will it not be a thing that will die in the shelf? If the answer to all this are negative, I will say I give it kudos to it. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time and for your analysis, Mr. Awawamiko. I do appreciate you for being a part of this show, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for being a part of the World News at 12. And that's a wrap on the World News at 12, right here on Voice of the People, 90.3 FM. Just before we wrap up, let's take a look at the top stories again. You heard that President Talon has broken his silence after Benin Republic failed coup. That's as gunmen attacked church and market in Anambra. Federal government secures release of 100 school children abducted in Niger State. And Kalu recruits 4,444 Quran reciters to conduct prayers against terrorists. And that is a wrap on the World News at 12 on Voice of the People, 90.3 FM. My name is Chioma Innocent. Good afternoon and thank you for listening.